and it was just horrible.
And so who was it that came and took the cows?
Hmm.
Do you know who it was that came and took the cows?
There's some white men. I guess we had a mortgage up, getting groceries and things. I imagine since I got large, I try to work through these things. And that's what I come up with. I never did ask them.
So basically, everybody was kind of struggling
Uh-huh.
financially,
Mm-hmm.
and so they were,
Yeah.
yeah.
And everybody helped one another. So it got, made it through.
Were you affected by the Dust Bowl, by all the dust?
Dust.
Yeah, the dust from the Dust Bowl.
No.
No,
I don't know.
because that affected a lot of the farmland that was in Oklahoma at that time. Yeah. So, when you and Mr. Jackson, what was it that made you decide to come to Arizona?
Uh, my husband people come out here first, and they come. We hadn't thought about coming to Arizona, so it was cotton picking time, and the cotton was everywhere, and so that's what brought him out here. So we come on and worked a while, and somebody got many kids.
Do you remember what year it was that you came to Chandler? Do you remember what year it was that you came to Chandler?
I don't know,
37,
huh?
1937,
Would be
1937.
1934.
37. So she said it was 1937.
1937. Oh, what it was, I don't know. They remember better than I do.
So you would have been about 27 years old about that time, and you had all your children with you that you came to, and you said that that B was 6 months.
Somewhere like that.
Yeah, you said that
I
she was
think,
6 months
I
old.
think, something like that.
Do you remember how was it that you traveled from Oklahoma to Arizona?
How I did with
Yeah, how'd you get here?
train.
On the train.
Uh,
Okay. Do you remember what it was like to travel with a little young baby like that?
yes, I remember. It was just, I had on a dress with buttons on it. I know she tore my buttons off of my dress. And she, so they was pretty good. They, and I cooked up enough food for them to have to eat along. Because it took us 2 days to get here.
So you came by train, and did you come into Chandler? Is that where
Yes,
you got off at?
yes, Chandler.
Okay.
There's a station there.
Do you remember what you thought about Chandler when you first came?
Well, I was just glad to get here. It was nice and warm out here. So we come here in January, February, one of the months. And it was cold and, back in Oklahoma. And it was just so sunny and nice and warm here. I just went crazy about it.
So you were happy. And so tell me again the name of the farm where you went to when you got here.
Mr. Goodson.
Goodson's Farm. And that was near here, right?
Yeah, he stayed out in here, somewhere out here, wasn't it?
You're saying somewhere around Chandler Heights and McLean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went, and his parents was staying there, and he put all those tents there on the farm. And we stayed there, I guess, a year or two.
So you lived on that farm for just a couple years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then all of your children went to school here?
Well, the kids went there. They walked down here somewhere, and I would walk down here with them and catch the bus and went to Mason.
Okay. So you were living there. You're living there in Chandler, at the Goodson farm, and did you have a family there as well? Other family? Your
Yeah,
husband's
it
family?
was a lot of us living there. All of my husband's people, they lived on the farm, lived out there on the farm too.
So was it his parents and?
Mm-hmm. His parents and his brothers and sisters and all what he had.
Okay. So, and do you know, was it around the same time when his family came here, or did they come like
Well, they
a
come
year
before.
before?
They would come before we did.
They came before. Okay. Do you remember? Did you live in a tent or in a little house there on the farm?
Tent. We stayed in a tent for about a year, and so Mr. Goodson built us a house.
Can you describe? Do you remember what the tent looked like?
It's just a piece of ducking tent, you know, big piece of ducking made out of ducking, I guess. And
Some people, they had like what they called a tent house, which had like the canvas was over the top, and then the sides were wood, like on the lower part. So I wondered if it was that kind of thing, or if it was just all fabric.
well, no, I didn't have any wood on the bottom because we could roll it up and, you know, in the summertime, and roll it down. So it didn't have any wood about it, I don't think.
And then did he build houses for all the different families that were living there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he recently, we went to leaving and he went to building houses. Then we moved to Chandler and just first one place another.
So what was it why did you guys decide to move into Chandler?
Well, you know, the wall started, and when my husband moved, and where he could get more better work.
So there, he had more opportunities for work if he was living closer into town. And was he still doing farm work at that time?
Big part.
Was he still doing farm work, or was he doing other kind of work? Was he still doing farm work?
Well, he could do, but he was doing other kind of work.
There were probably some new jobs that opened up because
Yeah.
people were joining the military.
So he was doing that kind of work, and he worked until we got our foot planted, I guess. And then we bought a place, and that's the first house we bought.
So the first house you bought, was that the one that's on Delaware?
Mm-hmm.
And that house that you had on Delaware, that's a house that was on another property, right?
Yes, yes.
And they said that was the Kuntz farm? Is that where that
Oh,
house was
what
at?
kind of farm?
The Kuntz family? Yeah.
No, I think it was a cotton, sitting out there in a cotton field,
Okay.
wasn't it?
Yes.
And where was the farm at?
Fry Road, before McQueen.
So it was around Fry and McQueen, that's where the house was originally. Okay. So it sounds like you guys moved into town maybe around 1941, sometime around there. That's when the Second World War started. Around in that time.
Well, yes, I guess it was whenever it started, and I just kept on following up work, you know, we could get better jobs, and I worked out of officer club, and we made it that way.
Okay, you worked at the Officers Club. What did you do there?
I served. I would, you know, I would take the orders, and if, you know, somebody wanted this, that, well, I would give the orders on a type.
That was in California.
Uh-huh.
In California.
Did you guys move to California for a little while?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you did leave Chandler for a little bit.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
part of California did you go to?
What's the name of that place?
El Centro.
Huh?
El Centro.
El Centro, she said.
No,
Madera.
You went
Pittsburgh.
to El Centro first.
no. I'm trying to think of places from San Francisco, Pittsburgh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. That's where we moved to. And, you know, lots of soldiers got killed along on there, and we would go down and see them, pick them up.
Okay. So do you remember how long you lived in California for?
Well, we stayed there till, I don't know how long it was, but my husband was working. One night it come on, shake, you know, one of these, and so everybody was running out of the house hollering. It was at night, and he checked out and we moved.
You mean an earthquake?
Yeah, earthquake.
So, and that's where you guys said, forget it, we're gonna go back to Arizona after that? Or did you
We
go somewhere else?
we moved to, I think, El Centro.
Yes.
We moved to El Centro after we left Pittsburgh, and we stayed there, and we stayed there a long time and worked it. And so after kids got around in school, then we got settled somewhere where you wouldn't have to pull them up here.
Right. Okay. And is that when you decided to come back to Arizona after that? Okay.
And we come back to Arizona, and this where we planted. Yeah, we had been in Arizona, and we know where we want to stay, and we just working around where we could make more money. And when the kids got big enough, they're going to school, you know, to keep from uprooting them. And so we moved back to Arizona, and we got stationed there. So he stayed until he died.
Do you know, what was it that made you decide to come back to Chandler?
What you said?
I said, what was it that made you decide to come back to Chandler?
Well, we was doing other kind of work, and so when we come back, they were still raising cotton and you know, different grain and different stuff, watermelons, and where he could work that way. And we stayed here until he got cotton mills and things around. He worked there a long time.
So he was in the cotton industry for quite a while, sounds like. Okay. So when you guys came back to Chandler after you'd been in California and you came back to Chandler, and then that's when you moved to that house on Delaware?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want you to think back a little bit, back to when you were living on that house in Delaware, back when your kids were still young and going to school. Do you remember some of the other families that were living on the street with you that you knew?
Oh yes.
Who were some of the families?
Well, it was alfalfa field, and we Mr. What his name?
Whitney.
Yeah. Well, he was selling it, and we were the first one bought 2 lots there, and we moved there, and Jim Hopper, he bought a lot there, and just first one another till it got filled up.
Mm-hmm. So you were the first family to
Yeah.
move there?
Yeah, it was when we moved there. You know, we didn't have any electric or no gas or nothing.
Can you name some of the families?
Huh?
Can you name some of the families?
Yeah. Who were some of the other families that lived near you?
Well, Jim Hopper was one, and Vanley, Mr. Vanley, and I can't remember all of them.
You know the Paynes lived there, the Woods lived
Huh?
there. The Paynes lived there.
Yeah, the Tonys and I don't know who all.
The Woods, or the Woods family?
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
there too?
Mhm.
Okay. So you got to know a lot of different people?
Yes.
And you had a little community?
Yeah,
That was
build a
good.
little community and a little school. No, didn't build no school. Build a place to worship.
Yeah, tell me about the churches that were in the area when you got there.
Well, it wasn't any.
There weren't any churches when you got there. And so,
We-
where did people go to have
Well,
a service?
it was a big old adobe house, and so everybody had a time. You know, different denominations had a time they held the service. We had Ivan at night, and somebody else held this one. You know, Sunday on down. Give them a little time space till we then the Baptists they build a church, build something, and so that's where we got started.
Mm-hmm. That's Mount Olive? Is that
Huh?
Mount Olive Baptist Church?
Yeah, it was. They built. It wasn't on Mount Olive then. That wasn't